Greetings and salutations, folks, and welcome once again, as always, to another helping of Mr H's Hot Pot. You join me today up at Sparrows Fart, although it is a little bit later this morning as I'm making this particular vlog, or vlog as I like to call them. It's about 8:30 in the morning as I'm making this, so there's a little bit more activity around the hotel than there has been in previous vlogs. I'm currently on the Cresta Run. I'm just having a minute. I've just come onto this little children's play area, which is there's nobody on it this time of the morning, and I've been sent out by Mrs H, our Potters. She's wanting to have a little bit of a relax, a few 10 minutes to herself while Toby James is sleeping, and she wants me out from under her feet, so she sent me on the Cresta Run to top up our beverages. So that's what I'm doing, and she said, why don't you go and make your vlog. Now I'm on the backup camera today, Hot Potters, so I do apologise if the quality of this footage isn't as good as previous vlogs. Simply, the camera didn't charge last night. It's been getting overheated, so I've no idea what's going on there, whether or not it can't cope with the heat, or whether the battery's on its way out, who knows. So like I say, I'm on the backup camera today. Now, I spoke to my good friend Mike yesterday via WhatsApp, and when you come to think about it, it's amazing, because I can remember a time that if you came abroad, you didn't really contact anybody back home because it cost you a fortune having to find a telephone and go through all this long-winded way of putting international dialing codes in and that, just to basically ask somebody at home, what time is it and what's weather like? You know, so you didn't bother, did you? You'd send them a postcard and then it'd arrive 3 weeks after you'd returned home. So it's amazing now that you can just set up a conference call and get on Wi-Fi and chat for free as long as you want. And he said to me, he said, it's a long bimble to go, a long way to go for a glass of pop. And it is, Mike. And they do it deliberate, don't they, these hotels? Yeah, free refills for the duration of your holiday, knowing full well that you are limited physically in how many times you can go back. How many times are you willing to walk in that punishing Florida heat for a glass of pop? You'll probably kick the arse out of it for the first couple of days, and then after that you'll slow down, and if you're filling it up twice in a day, you're lucky. So they're always on the right side, but not with Mr H. 8 days in and I'm still kicking the arse out of it. And sadly, we're now at the tipping point, 8 days in, and it's downhill all the way, or down brew as we say in Wigan. Now your holiday, Hot Potters, make a good point here at this point. It's what you make it. Whether you're in sunny Florida, like I am, or whether you're in a rain-battered chalet, crumbling away in Prestatyn, a Pontins chalet, it's all about your mindset. If you go into an holiday with a negative attitude, and I've seen many people here, they've paid a lot of money to come here and be miserable, you're going to have a negative experience. Sure, little things will happen, like happened to us with that horrible ride operator, but you don't let them get you down. That's the key. And last night we had a fantastic dining experience, because we went to Epcot, and Epcot has the World Showcase there, which is various areas that are set out supposedly to replicate countries. So you've got the UK, which is set out not like the UK, sadly, it's set out mainly like England, and it's the Americans' version of England. Then you've got France, Canada, so on and so forth, Italy and all that. And I'm sure that people from those countries go there like we do with the UK, just to see how accurate it is. Anyway, we decided we would dine in the UK area. So we went to the Rose and Crown, which is a restaurant that's set out supposedly like a UK style country pub. And what they do in these lands, they employ people from that country, the native to that country. So in the UK, they're all English people, or UK people working there. Anyway, we get to our server, and it's amazing to think we're about 3,000 miles away from home. And our server, as soon as the young girl opened her mouth, and I hadn't even looked at her name tag, I could tell where she was from. She was from Lancashire. So, lovely girl, Lauren. So she asked us where we was from. I says, Wigan. She says, all right. She says, I'm from a little place called Mellor. I I says, yeah, not far from Preston. I says, and it's near Samsbury, isn't it? So straight away, we're getting on like an house on fire. Anyway, she took her order, brought us our drinks, went and toddled off, brought us our food out when it was ready. Only Lauren didn't come. A young man came, and he was from Wigan. What she'd done, she'd gone back in and said to a member of staff, this family's from your hometown. So what he'd done, bless him, he'd give us some extra fish and chips on our fish and chips. So I ended up with double. And I did eat it out of politeness, but Mrs H couldn't manage it. And little Toby James, bless him, you couldn't see him over this mountain of fish and chips. But it was a really nice gesture, and it was great to see somebody from the old country, hear the accent once again, and just, you know, it was a nice experience what they'd done. And it just proves that not all experiences in Disney are going to be horrible. You know, it's all down to your mindset, how you interact with people and how they interact back with you. Anyway, today we're going to be going to the Magic Kingdom, the House of Mouse itself. And what we're going to do, we're going to leave it until just after midday. Let the sun get over, so we'll probably go and spend a bit of time in one of the pools around here and cool off, and then make our way into the Magic Kingdom and stay for the fireworks. Now, one or two of you out there have said that the thing that happened with Mrs H the other day regarding me thinking it was a scam. Not everybody that approaches you is out to scam you, and that's quite true. You know, you shouldn't be going out with an hedgehog mentality. Anybody that speaks to you, you know what they're up to. You shouldn't be doing that. But to be fair, if you are in an area that you are unfamiliar with and somebody approaches you seemingly with no purpose, it's best to be on your guard, and it's best to have your wits about you. Now, don't treat everybody negatively, but just be on your guard. And that's what we've done. In the end, I took Toby into Epcot yesterday on my own, and I was a little bit nervous about doing that because I haven't travelled. I'm not as well travelled as Mrs H. Basically, until I met Mrs H, I'd never been abroad. So 2007 was the first time I set foot on foreign soil, and it was Turkey. I went there for an holiday. So I'm not as confident as Mrs H is at going out there, but in the end, I got him in there, no problem. I met up with Mrs H. She didn't go to Walmart, we went afterwards because I didn't want her going on her own. You know, if something had have happened to her, I'd have never forgiven myself. But yeah, so I stepped out of my comfort zone, and I'm quite proud of myself in doing that. Anyway, Hot Potters, I'm going to keep it short again today because basically I'm running out of things to talk about. I'm having a fantastic time, and these are just mainly so that we can look back on it. It's for our own posterity, so to speak. I know I've lost 1 or 2 subscribers making these videos. You know, you prefer me going looking at a chimney stack or something like that. Well, it's not out here, is it? Mr H's Hot Pot, my channel, is all about different things. That's why I call it Mr H's Hot Pot, because when you make an hot pot, you throw anything into it. You know, I don't set myself out as I'm only going to make videos about Fred Dibner. Love Fred Dibner. You'll find him fascinating, but sometimes I find something else fascinating and I'll move on to it. So if you don't like these videos, fine. If you want to unsubscribe, fine, but I'm not going to be here forever, so I will be returning back to the UK, and I will be returning back to my normal shtick. So, you know, don't cut your nose off to spite your face, that's all I'll say. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this one up because the drink is running low and I need to stay hydrated. So, until the next time, from myself, Mr H, it is bye-bye for now.